My grandpa put all his gaming knowledge, his whole heart, into assembling this deck. I have to believe that it holds some secret strategy. Heart of the cards, guide me.
Shut up.
Nah, because SK. Yeah, we could eat them. Yeah. There's definitely one Korean. Oh no, it's Jin Air Wings or whatever.
Yeah.
Jin Air is an aircraft airline, and they had a StarCraft 2 and League of Legends team in Korea.
Yeah.
Test.
Shut up.
Is it working now? You know what, guys? What we lack in technical ability, we make up for in overwhelming beauty and charm. How are you guys? How are you guys? How is everyone? Hope you're having a grand old day. Hope you're having a swell time. Thank you all for being here. Yeah, a lot of YouTubers in here, huh? What's up, YouTubers? What's up, sellers? Rye, God damn it. Oh, it's a good day, guys. We got Blackhand on here. Enough of my technical tomfoolery. Enough of this this absolute shit show of a setup. As you can see, we've upgraded the setup a little bit, and with that comes the inevitable technical issue. We're back now, though. We should have the guys all set up and ready to go. If not, then it's just part of the show, dude. We're going to hop right into it. Big round of applause. We got Rye, of course. We got Sirsu and the Blackhand Boys. That sounds like a sick band name, honestly. Big round of applause. Let's bring these dudes on. Hey, guys.
What up?
We made it.
We fucking made it, man.
Yo, Sirsu with the background.
Look at that thing, dude.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's pretty fucking
I
fire.
had to bring some heat real quick.
That's awesome. I like
That's so
that.
good.
How are you guys? How's everyone?
Yeah, what's
how's
up,
everyone
Blackhand?
doing today?
Yo, I think, I mean, I don't want to speak for the team, but I will say we're fucking, like, beside ourselves. We're just stoked because this past month and some change has been, honestly, bro, we're hitting a run right now.
Hell yeah.
And we're just trying to, like, keep this feeling going as long as possible.
I feel like it's going to happen more and more, though, guys. The last time we actually hung out, Sirsu reminded me, it's like almost a year or so, was when you guys had that big placement in a tournament. And then it felt like things were starting to fire on all cylinders at that point, too. So
Is that really?
it's so good to see. I can't believe
Yeah,
that.
last August was our World Championship for Pokemon Unite. So
It's
yeah,
nutty, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I wanted to kill myself when I realized that. I was like, what the fuck?
What are we doing?
What the fuck? I've made no progress in my life since we last talked.
That's not true, yo. Yeah. That's so fucking funny.
It's not false.
Well, tell us a little bit more about the tournament. What just happened for people that aren't familiar?
Who wants to tell it first?
You go.
Okay. Okay. So, like, I'm going to give the TLDR. Apex Legends team from Asia Pacific South region. We picked up in March of this year from a prop that the community voted in from the DAO. Because remember, we are a DAO out here. So, you know, all of our decisions, most of our important decisions are done on chain. We placed third in the regular pro season. Placed, I think, 10th in regional finals. Made it to the playoffs. And we were having a rough fucking go at first. It didn't seem like we were really going to make it past day 2 because we were just kind of getting like run-of-the-mill average points. We weren't securing enough in the group stage to enable us to like confidently roll into like day 3 saying, okay, we don't have to play in the elimination bracket. We can just walk our way to finals. No, we had to fucking fight for it. And if anyone's been a massive fan of Blackhand and you've watched our teams play, you know we have a knack for putting shit on hard mode. I swear to God, almost every fucking team that we've ever dealt with has made an elimination bracket run. We hardly, if ever, waltz into a winner's bracket run. We just love making a hard story for ourselves. I think it's some underdog bullshit. But in any case,
sounds Freudian.
We claw our way through the elimination round 1 and round 2 with a massive clutch win, bringing ourselves to finals, where I think I could speak for everybody. When they announced us and they said our tagline, I lost my shit. We were watching that thing like you're watching Premier League. Like I'm glued to the TV, had YouTube TV on, watching Apex Legends. This shit was insane. Long story short, we placed 19th, which means we're like 19th in the world right now. we're better than that. We could
crazy.
definitely hit top 10. But the fact that we made it to finals, we're in the top 20 conversation of teams globally right now, and we made our way into getting to the actual world championship means two things. One, as Blackhand, we know what the fuck we're doing when it comes to like picking really good teams. We've had 2 Worlds appearances back to back in 2 different games, and we might actually have another Worlds appearance with another team, our PUBG Mobile team in Africa, assuming they do what they say that they're out to do. So like that just shows us that I think we have a knack for competitive talent, especially upcoming talent. And then B, it's just like, holy shit. When we said we were gonna do esports, I think we all knew that like it was gonna be lit, but not feeling like this. This feels way better than like I had envisioned 2 years ago when we all put this together. Right. So, yeah, that's the way I put it. But I mean, yeah, I know y'all got heat for it as well.
Is this on pace with what you guys thought you would be seeing at this point in Blackhand?
For me personally, we're still not quite there yet. We're still behind. We're getting there. We got the World Championship. We got another Worlds appearance, but it's more than just results in game. And in the stuff outside of the game, we're not quite at the level we want to be yet. So there's still a lot of stuff to do.
Facts.
Fair enough.
Facts. Yeah, most definitely. I think like to expound on that just a tad, it's being able to, part of our mission is building the rails for on-chain esports to exist, right? And so that means our Project Stadium platform has to perform in enabling more communities and groups to build their teams on chain, for players to onboard and create like their gaming profiles on chain, for us to work with incumbent Web 2 games and also newer Web 3 games, so that we can actually start building competitive scenes for each of them and really testing the waters with all the like on-chain capabilities that we can give for value distribution and things of that nature. That also means like even building sustainable opportunities for revenue for Blackhand in and of itself, right? Like, you know, how do we go from, we have a treasury that continues to replenish itself because of the wins that we're putting out, because of the fandom that we've created. How do we create an opportunity where we know that if we put 30 ETH out in a year for our pro teams, that we can receive 30 ETH back without even having to wait for the tournament earnings, because most tournament earnings take fucking 6 to 9 goddamn months anyway.
Whoa.
For real?
Yeah, we could talk about that in a minute.
Holy how is that even possible?
But like,
holy shit.
it should be illegal, but it's not.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
But yeah, so like, you know, there's some challenges that we definitely still face, but I think because of the fact that we're winning and that we're putting ourselves in a position to win in more higher stakes environments, it gives us the right kind of exposure that we can snowball into funneling that attention into the areas that we need most. So yeah, we definitely still got a shit ton of work to do. But as far as the wins concerned, like I think we're definitely, I feel like we're above expectation as it relates to the way that we found teams and the way we've been able to scrappily put these things together from a budget perspective, to make it work.
Hell yeah.
Honestly, I think we're killing it in that regard.
That's amazing, man. So when it comes to the way that you're formulating your teams, the team that just placed really highly, were they formed recently, or have they been with Blackhand for a period of time now?
So they've been together as a roster. They've been together in Blackhand since March. I think it's about March, if that's right. Yeah. They weren't a team for very long before that. What actually happened was one of the players competed at Split 1 finals, and then he was dropped from that roster, so he's formed this team. So he teamed up with Yugi, one of the players who was a free agent, and then they bought the other player, Easy Flash, out of his contract because they wanted to play with him. And then one of our community members, Alendil, actually brought the prop to us. So it was none of the core team that actually found or scouted this team. It was one of our community members that brought it. and then we did a prop vote and it voted in, and then they've
damn.
been with us since March. So not only was this like downvoted, but it was actually like brought to us by community members, which was really cool.
That's
that was
crazy.
kind of our first team that's happened with. So it's been a big success from like the in-game perspective, but also the whole like DAO mechanism and how it works.
Right.
Wow. Is that, I mean, from that perspective of utilizing the DAO and it being something that was community formulated, that seems like it's not your standard means of formulating a team. So like what does that process look like? Did that community member say like, here are these individuals, I think they'd be really good together, or what does that even like? I have no idea what that process even looks like.
Yeah, so with this team in particular, the in-game leader, Strafing Flame, who went to the last split finals before he was dropped, the organization he played for, Iron Blood Gaming, Elendil actually linked that team up with that organization, so he's kind of like a player agent in some ways. So Flame had came to him and said, I've got this new team, I'm looking for a roster, and they made a bit of like a deck about the team. And then Elendil came to us knowing that we'd been in Apex, we didn't have a team, and put forward this prop. So that's how that team worked. A lot of the time with our previous teams, it's kind of been, we've found a game that we're interested in, and then we've gone and looked at free agent players or free agent rosters and kind of done a whole process of scouting them in game, scouting their content and their like media personalities, discussing with them in like multiple calls. It's a pretty long process. Sometimes it happens really quickly. Sometimes you just know like this is the right fit. Other times we'll be like scouting scenes and stuff for 2 to 3 months before we really land on a team or a player that we want.
Gotcha. So that it almost sounds like, maybe this is an obvious thing, but especially when it comes to being sort of like traditional game minded and also leaning into Web3 gaming studios, you have to have people that have in-depth knowledge of those games to understand how to curate those teams accordingly. And so the same would happen with Parallel or other specific gaming entities. Is that true?
Yeah, 100%. I literally I'd probably spend like 4 to 5 hours a day just looking at Liquipedia, watching tournaments, looking at tournament results for all different esports, even like games I don't even play. Like I don't play Rocket League, and we've never had a Rocket League team. But I'm staying up to date with what's happening in the Rocket League scene,
Gotcha.
because that's how you'd be able to identify free agent teams or big tournaments coming up, because you have to know what's going on. Because everything moves so quickly in esports that if you wait until 2 weeks before an event and you go, oh, this team's still not sponsored, let's try and get them, you can't capitalize as much as if you're looking once the event's announced 3 months before and you find the right roster at that stage. So yeah.
Amazing. Cool. Fitch says, what's up, Sirsu, by the way?
What's good, Fitch? How you been, buddy?
He's in the chat.
Love you, fam.
Yeah, I think that's in relation to like Web3 games, and as some of these Web3 games develop esports scenes, it's an even bigger point, because at the beginning there's not much like source material to go off. If you're building a Counter-Strike roster, you've got 15 years of tournaments and results and regional leagues and all this different stuff. In Web3 gaming, for a lot of these games, you've just got like your in-game leaderboard, Twitch streams, maybe a few community tournaments, and when a big circuit comes around, you really have to know what's been going on and know who's who in the scene to be able to build a really good roster.
So is that like, I guess based on what you just said there, is there some goal to dig into that metadata or like bridge? Maybe it's Project Stadium. Maybe this is a good segue to Stadium. But is there some tool or solution where you're all trying to develop the means of seeing those statistics across a lot of the Web3 games that are coming to fruition right now?
Yeah, it's interesting. Like Stadium has that to a degree where once we start running tournaments for games, that data is now on chain and viewable on our website in easy format and stuff. So you've always got that history that you can go back on, and then like there's player data assigned to player cards as well. So if you're not looking at specific tournaments, but you're looking at an individual player, you can kind of see what they've achieved. But But in relation to like in-game data, I don't really know of anything at the moment that's really tracking in-game data. Stadium wants to get there eventually, but you have to get different access to games and their data and stuff, and it's pretty like a big thing to try and pull off.
Yeah, I would to add on that. It's definitely something where I think Web3 games have a much better opportunity to showcase the power of making that data accessible and permissionless, right? So if we're able to pull API, if an API is built from, let's say, like Parallel, for example, and we have data related to like glints earns or like prime made or kind of like averages, like things that we can do. So like we can, not only can you help build, for example, and I think like Parallel has like a content creator challenge and sort of opportunity happening program going on, right? Like the more data that you do have, I think the better I think as tournament organizers, as people part of esports, can start to map like the right types of like interactions, engagements, and incentives that actually move the needle, right? So, for example, there was a game from Sparkadia called Sparkball is the name. They just did a $32,000 tournament with like Fnatic, 100 Thieves, G2, and stuff like that.
Oh, dope!
And it didn't move the needle for them whatsoever.
Oh,
There wasn't a lot of engagement. And you think about like orgs like that, where like if Fnatic says they're playing in Apex Legends, they're getting thousands of engagements, but with this game, they're getting less than 100.
damn.
And like it goes to show, because when you have misaligned incentives or a lack of opportunity for organizations to fully kind of take ownership of a game or a competitive space that they're about to occupy, then orgs don't feel incentivized to actually give it an effort to help promote what's happening, right? And so that's why there's like this really unique opportunity, I think, for us from a stadium perspective in getting people like NFT communities like Sunflyers that just ended up making a full team on Stadium and like made an announcement about it, or like getting a community like Parallel communities and all of its bonds, all the different types of bonds and groups like Exile, shout out to Exile, and a few others, like Midnighters and stuff like that, that we are sort of a newer class of gaming org that if we're able to take advantage of the opportunities that like games with accessible data can give us, then that means we have a better opportunity to even build sustainable opportunities for us in the long term. I think that changes the trajectory on how like larger orgs look at newer games, look at creating better relationships with these games, so that they can say, look, there is a particular lift that we can add here because we have the sort of brand cachet to make things possible. There was an opportunity where I think if I was managing like Fnatic or 100 Thieves or Cloud9, and in the case of Sparkadia, I would have been really pushing an incredibly awesome campaign. I mean, here's the other thing too, like they even awarded team skins, but like no one was giving a fuck about it because there was no actual narrative associated with it. And I think that's like a big missed opportunity. And I think data has has a big role in playing that.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
and so they
just the organizations that I looked at that were competing in that tournament didn't even tweet about the tournament or the game or anything. So it's like, I don't know what happens there, the deal, whether it's like 32K or whether they're getting paid endorsement or whatever. But a similar thing happened. I can't remember the game, but it was like a RPG dungeon crawler game, and they partnered with a bunch of esports orgs, and they all tweeted once when they launched, and then you never saw it again. But that game had game skins going to organizations and stuff, and it's this big thing where esports orgs, they need revenue. Web3 games are paying them to try and promote their game, but it's not really bringing in users or anything. Anyway, sorry, go on.
Well, no, that's a great point. That's crazy. Fish had a good question that I wanted to share with you guys. So he asked,
it's not that
how
good.
will player he says very excited for Stadium. How will player recruiting for TCG Excellence work? And will Blackhand seek out net new players to compete?
So I'll answer the
Scheming
last question first. Yes, we are seeking out new players.
Can I apply?
I wanted to have a intake form ready by the time, but I didn't have it done at this point.
Oh, it's okay.
However, just DM me on Twitter, and like we're about to go through some crazy trials. Beta is about to closed beta is about to come out for Parallel. I've already played with a lot of the top 64 players. A lot of you motherfuckers are cracked. I love it. Some of you most of you already are a part of self-made bonds and groups. So we will not be recruiting from you guys. But there are some promising diamonds in the rough that I've been keeping my eye on. So I will be reaching out at some point. But I think like player recruiting in general, and because I think it relates to like TCG excellence, right? It's like we've got to be able to sort of ask the right questions related to game sense, right? Like I think there's like when you think about like trading card games, you've got to have a really unique understanding of how the game works, but also not only what seems to be the meta, but like really experimenting and pushing the boundaries of how these cards can really work together to create some really unique outcomes. If you're a player that's just like, oh, like I'm very like surface, not necessarily thinking about the why these cards are built and designed to have a particular play style, then you're not really going to be that great of a TCG player overall. Like what you're normally going to find, and I think like, I mean, but this is like the law of averages with most games that have some relative level of competency that you're going to need to have, right? Is you're going to have people that are like, what makes me feel good in a very like quick scenario where I'm playing casual and I just want to feel like, oh, I'm stomping on like some shit stain, right? Like there's going to be a meta for that. And like, that's going to get old. Because people who are continually like pushing the boundary are going to find ways to like say we're above that, right? You know, they're the people that are going to be maxis on parallels that aren't even real, like that to most people seemingly aren't that raw. Like I remember when like Alpha first came out, people were like, nah, I don't want to play Earthen because it takes too much time. And then Orphan is smacking motherfuckers around because it's like patience is a real virtue.
Just gotta get like, those Mizras to stick.
Yeah, but like when you see like the difference between a player that actually gives a fuck about like how they've organized to put those cards together versus someone who's just like, oh, I'm just trying to like, I don't really care. You can see how playing Earthen is exciting. It doesn't seem like it's a boring rut that most people made it out to be. And so I think like when you're looking for recruitment, not just for us, but I think in general, if anybody wants to recruit, because our goal too is not only to compete, but to help facilitate a massively, incredibly strong competitive environment, then like you've got to look for the people who are sort of incessantly driven about like how do these cards complement each other? How do they work? And how can I break the rules? You need rule breakers in TCG. You don't win matches if you're doing what everyone else does.
It's well said.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
So you're saying I can't just net deck?
No.
Are you trying to tell me that? Fuck, man.
Yeah, I'm definitely the type of player that Sirsu doesn't want to recruit. When Alpha first came out, I was just playing the Margolian build that got nerfed.
You're that guy.
Yeah, I was like top 20 on the leaderboard. I was winning like 10 games in a row.
Feeling good, baby.
And then they nerfed it, and I changed my deck, and I couldn't win. Like I was struggling to win games. But then I went clones, and it all went back to good again.
Yeah, that's amazing.
But yeah, as for like the first part of the question, like trying to bring new players and stuff. TCG is like, or digital TCG. Obviously, the space has been pretty strongly dominated by Hearthstone, but Blizzard once again has kind of nerfed one of their competitive games. So this year of Hearthstone has looked pretty bad considering compared to last season's, where a lot of players actually retired because the format just wasn't as lucrative or as exciting. There was hardly any offline events, things like that. And then the other game we've got is Marvel Snap is going really well at the moment as well. But by nature, it's a competitive game. So you can play ranked as much as you want, but a lot of people within that space want to do more. It's like when you go back to Magic the Gathering, Pokemon trading card games, you're at your local tournaments, you're at your big expos. Like that's what it's built off. And I think Parallel can fill a gap in the esports space if the developers really want to, and we can help facilitate that because there's not a premium card game out at the moment in the esports landscape anyway. And then additionally, I think TCGs is like the perfect use case for NFTs within games.
Absolutely.
Because when you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, whatever, you're buying physical cards that have physical value that you can trade and sell with your friends or whatever, right? You can go to marketplaces and sell them. Hearthstone, Marvel Snap don't have those features, but Parallel does because of the blockchain technology. So I think it's got the ability to appeal to a lot of physical card game players, because a lot for them is actually having to invest in a deck and knowing that like I've got a good deck because I've invested in these cards to have this specific build. And a lot of players don't like that about Hearthstone or whatever, where it's like I can buy cards, but if I don't use them, it's nothing. In Parallel, you might get cards. If you don't need them, someone else does. So yeah, I think it's naturally gonna, if it's promoted properly and has the infrastructure in place for a good esports scene, it's naturally just gonna bring players.
That's a great point.
ATM, I know you. Oh, my fault. I just wanted to point out because we've got like a very massive Magic player.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure that you got a chance to cook.
I've been listening.
Let's go.
One thing. So Amir and I actually went and played Parallel for a bit, and I know there was
Gray Box days too.
I wanted to play the beta, but it didn't work for me for some reason. But anyway. I am a big TCG head. I used to collect my Magic cards. I lost all those. I have been playing Magic the Gathering Arena every once in a while. I'm a huge deck builder, and I love the idea of finding a card that you think is really cool and just building everything around it. And I know Amir was talking about the idea of, you got to think high level about this, but also I've done so much research on the TCG like arena. He's right. T is right as well with like red decks, Markolian decks, just pile driving. There's a magic and a mysticism to that as well. You have to be anticipating any type of opponent as you come in. And when we were sitting down at the gray box, just playing and theorizing, my neurons were firing. I was like, oh, well, you could do this. Well, what if you send this way? And so Parallel for me personally is I'm so excited for it to, be a part of the team building experience, the playing, the coaching experience potentially. Yeah. Super excited for that. And shout out Fitch.
Yeah, there's like two types of elite card game players in my mind, like TCG players. It's those who like build the ships and then those who pilot. And the people who are like out homebrewing, trying to pick like the least used card and build an entire deck around it, like the entire alpha, I was trying to get Warlord to work. I was trying to like buff that guy up to 20 attack and then just nuke someone's face off, And then there's like those players who are just trying to do wacky shit, and then there's players who take the vehicles deck and they're like, okay, but what if I put this card? What if I substitute one for here? Or like in Magic, you take your side deck, your sideboard, and you like kind of tweak it just a little bit. All these little optimizations going against the same meta decks is also like a whole nother realm of player. And I'm so excited because I completely agree that like Parallel just fills a gap in competitive esports that Hearthstone was too casual oriented to fill, and Magic is it's
too money hungry.
It's too money hungry, and it's too obtuse for a lot of people. And Parallel's like right in the middle, and the energy banking system it like fixes land flooding. It fixes all your like mana problems. It's so good, and I'm just pumped about all of it. It just seems like the perfect fit for the perfect time, and with AI and Web3 in it, it's just like a home run.
I'm really excited about the opportunity to really hear people cast these games. The commentary as people are playing the game is going to be something for me that I'm going to cherish.
That's some of
because,
the best
like,
100%.
That's going to be fun.
You know what I'm saying? Like when someone is saying, oh, here's like what we think is a typical matchup between, let's say, Markolian and Cathari, and then one of the players pulls something that no one's really seen yet, or that someone has seen but has done it. The setup was either earlier or the payoff was later for some reason, and then everything starts to come together. Like the wonder of the casters being mystified by what actually just happened, but then also being able to sort of like walk back and explain like what really just went down. I think is going to be something truly, truly special once we really get that language together, where people can talk about Parallel in a shorthand. It has its own like competitive language. That's something I'm really interested in really helping to shape, because like if you think about some of the best like I guess esports environments like OG Halo, OG COD, when you think about like League of Legends, CS, there's certain like there's a certain vocabulary that started to become established that, you know, when they say those particular words, like you know what they're referencing. Because they've like done it and said it so long. So I'm very curious to see what kind of competitive language Parallel is going to have.
And fighting games too, like Yipes.
Yes,
Yipes
exactly.
had like his whole language, you know.
I think Parallel has like the community have the ability with the kind of presentation of the game through casting to really take inspiration from FGC and from CS:GO specifically, where they're kind of longer games with a little bit more downtime or whatever. Like it's not as action packed, where you can have more of like discussion based like community feel to the broadcast. You don't have to, if you go and watch like Call of Duty World League or HCS or even League of Legends to an extent, it's very seriously presented as if you're watching like, I don't know, maybe like the NBA or something. Whereas something like Parallel has the ability to have a really cool like vibe and discussion to the broadcast.
There's so much speculation too when we were in the alpha server, and you had like the community that was watching the end of alpha tournaments, and even though thousands of games and matches had been played, there was still a lot of surprise and just a lot of like amazing energy and commentary from like 100 people that were just sitting there watching. And so even the people that were on the team were like, holy shit, I can't believe they got this card at this time at this late in the game. And you just saw like little trickles of that already starting to happen, which is really exciting.
The alpha group chat was lit. It was actually some of the most hype like card game action I've ever seen, because everyone was just so excited. That energy is so rare. And so
it is.
Yeah, I got cursed out once or twice in that group for my build, to be honest.
You did. I would see people like tagging him like GG's. I couldn't do anything. Rip T like turn 11, and I'm just like, here he goes again, just being a menace.
I would be honest as well. Like you're saying, there's people who will like get the best build and then tweak it a little bit. I did not do that. I was like, his beta came out, I saw some tweet from someone, I can't remember who it was. It was like, here's the 10 most broken Parallel builds. I scrolled to number 1 and just copied that into my game, and off I went.
I love it.
That's amazing.
It's beautiful.
You gotta have fun, bro. You definitely gotta have fun. I held out for all my Shroud mains. We made it. We have arrived. From most people were running either like New Dawn or Nymph. They were not running brand. Yeah. I was a true brand believer because I knew that there was incredible potential. And then once I went to 3XP and played the updated version, holy fuck. All I'm saying is Shroud was never down. We're always up. We're always up. That's all I'm saying. We did
these motherfucking Shrouds.
Goddamn Shrouds, dude.
Like shout out to Silva, who did the who took the one skit, I think from Portlandia or whatever, or one of the things. Fred Armiston worked on it, and then basically just like took it and just put like banishment for everything. It's one of the most genius
Straight to
memes.
banish.
Straight to banish. It's like you have Marcolian banishment. Like,
Hey,
like
I would like to
CPS
play the
banish.
game. No.
Holy
We
shit.
know where to put you. We put you in the bin, where you're never heard from again.
God damn.
You can play in that corner.
100%. 100%.
I want to ask you, are there any NFT or Web3 like integrated fighting games? Because I'm seeing the Project L leaks. I know they had like a conference with fighting games. Street Fighter 6 just came out. Like I'm a big FCG guy, and like is Web3 taking that seriously at all? I haven't seen much. Have you?
There's one game that I saw. It's called Fight Legends, but at the time when we looked at it and we were thinking about it, we were excited to a degree because one of their advisors worked on the full fighting engine for Street Fighter 2 and Street Fighter Alpha.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, oh shit. Like
It's an old head.
that's big because SF2 and Alpha were like redefining fighting games at that point in time. Like that was something, especially when Alpha came out, it was like, oh shit, because then you had like Turbo and then all that stuff led to the greatest Street Fighter game of all time, Third Strike. So we were very like excited, but there's just been I don't know what's going on with the development, to be honest. I haven't really kept up with it because when I had a chance to actually play a playable demo, they only had one character. Now, I don't know if they've made more yet, if those are out. I'm not too keen on. I know their ecosystem is powered by Polygon or Matic, so I'm not entirely sure like if they have any other technical hurdles, if they've run out of cash. Like I'm not sure what's actually happening with them. But that's the only fighting game as a fighting game, like a true FGC fighting game that I've heard of in this space. Everything else is kind of like either like an auto battler or something else, which like isn't at all. That just fits more into like an RTS type of like environment, in my opinion.
Yeah, unfortunately for that game, Fight Legends as well, their kind of white paper and early videos, it was very similar to Street Fighter, but they were kind of, their concept was an idea that you had kind of like a fight hub and you'd be able to walk around and kind of do missions and engage with people in community. And Street Fighter 6 released like a month and a half ago, I can't remember, with that exact feature. Where you've got the World Tour mode, you've got like a fighting hub where you can fight people and stuff. So, that kind of might have hurt them a little bit. Interestingly about Project L, you said you're a Project L fan, or maybe when it comes out.
It looks
I
promising.
saw that they've got a playable demo at Evo with like 3 characters. So Evo in Las Vegas is in August 11th, I think it is. And it's the first time the game.
The demo is from the 4th through the 5th.
4th to the 5th, okay.
I'll be at FWB Fest. If I wasn't going to Fest, I would have gone to Vegas literally just to play.
Yeah, but I don't think they're shipping online or anything. I think it's literally just at Evo, the event, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's exactly why I wanted to go, because I knew they would do some shit like that.
Yeah. The mechanics look awesome. I was always a little skeptical because I'm like, okay, League of Legends was always kind of like poor man's Dota in my mind. But then
Totally disagree, but okay.
I know it's a hot take, but like it seems like they're kind of taking that same avenue, and not in a bad way. I mean in a good way. It's like an accessible League of Legends was an accessible Dota where you didn't need to spend like days researching in order to play. Like you could hop into League of Legends and have a good time. And there was also that depth to it past that, right? And I think with the simplified controls, even though I'm not like a super big fan of that, like I think Project L is going to have that same kind of curve where it's like really accessible for people who don't know anything about fighting games, but with the mechanics, like the wound mechanic on the, I forgot his name, but the big dude where you start to take chip damage, like that's sick. Like that's a crunchy mechanic within a simple game. So anyways,
and it's a tag team, so
yeah,
you can juggle them with all these crazy combos.
Yeah,
that's me and Amir and T2. We're all fighting game guys, so that
nice.
Yeah, that's I'm not even
actually. Well, no, I gotta ask the question now for everybody. I need your top 3 fighting game titles.
Oh shit.
Top 3, like of all
top
time.
3, like the ones that like if you could only play 3 fighting games, which ones would they be?
Damn.
Are you talking about like franchises, or are you talking about iterations?
It could be iterations. It doesn't have to be the franchise. It could be like, for example, mine would be Street Fighter Third Strike. It's probably going to be Tekken 8, but if Tekken 8 didn't exist, then I would say Tekken 4. And then I would go with, this is a toss-up because I'm a huge Soul Calibur fan, but there was something about when I first played Dead or Alive that like blew my stack.
Holy shit.
Yeah, what was it about Dead or Alive that was so appealing?
It definitely was not the boob physics, because I know that that's where you were going.
Sure.
Something just really piqued my interest.
It was Dead or Alive 4, because they had introduced. Actually, it was funny. They had a weird they had teased a Halo thing, but it wasn't Master Chief. It was somebody else.
Okay.
But actually, I think it's called Linda or something. Not Linda, but some other person. Like, they fight really fucking good in the game. But no. Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden has a enhanced kit, and the way that you can counter into his Azuna drop for massive damage was probably one of the most satisfying things I could ever do in a fighting game. So it has to be that for me. Although Dead or Alive is definitely a waifu game for sure. If you fuck with that, that's you're not lacking in that department, I will say. But Street Fighter Third Strike is definitely, honestly, I would probably say that 3 times, but I can't fuck up my own question.
Third Strike's got to be the best fighting game of all time, right?
Disagree.
Yeah, what's your best fighting game of all time?
I've only got 2 games that I can even list. Yeah. So the best fighting game of all time is Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Okay.
Controversial take, because a lot of people say it's not even a fighting game.
It could tie for first.
It is not a fighting game.
I understand if that's your take. But if your take is that it is a fighting game, then it's the best one of all time. The second game for me the second one for me on my list is Tekken Dark Resurrection. I had that shit on the PSP as a kid, and it was so good.
Oh damn,
that was good. That was a great one. Which in Baji, yeah, that's a great one.
How is it not a fighting game? Tell me.
You say, how is it not a fighting game?
Yeah.
Okay, with a fighting game, I feel like you got to be able to understand what's going on and then act on it. I played, now, granted, I didn't grow up with Melee, but when I did play it, Brawl had already been out. I was already a pro. And they were like, play Melee. I think I got 3 blisters that day trying to do all that dumb shit. Sorry, can't do it. It's
trying to wave dash.
It's not a fighting game.
Wave dash and fucking shine cancel, and I don't care, man. You're supposed to, in a fighting game, it's supposed to be jump cancel. That's it. Jump cancel. That's all and maybe special cancel. That's what you need.
Melee is interesting because they took a party game and they broke it to the point that it became a fighting game. So it's not. It wasn't intended to be a proper fighting game, like a high level thing. But then it got broken to the point where it's okay, what the fuck is you need to know 8 different broken glitch mechanics in order to even stand a chance.
That's why it's so good.
The story behind it
was made as something for kids to play at school.
Yeah.
And now where it's at. And Melee's kind of got a similar thing where like people loved it that much and like put that much time into it that there's all these mechanics that it's not just like, oh, you press 2 buttons for a combo or whatever. It's like you're breaking the game to do stuff you shouldn't be able to do.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2 kind of got to that point as well, where you're like the amount of infinites and like broken shit. Dude, I wish people would stop. I wish game companies would stop patching games so much.
Absolutely.
It's almost just like let it rock, and then the broken community mess that it turns into is so much better than the developers ever could have imagined. And like, who cares if one or two characters gets like, you know, waysided because they you know, they can't utilize the game breaking shit or whatever. You know.
Yeah, the whole discussion on let it rock or patch it, I think there's a golden area somewhere, not quite in the middle, but maybe like 7 out of 10 on a bar. I think a fighting game should come in a relatively finished state. And if something is absolutely oppressive and makes characters like some not feel fun, like I was a part of year 1 or year 0 of Guilty Gear Strive. Like I was trying to compete in Evo and everything. And
who was your main?
My main is Giovanna because I like to turn off my brain and not think about anything, just kick and punch and just be oppressive and a mean guy.
Perfect.
I like being a mean guy, but I like, you know, I don't want to do what really makes me mad when I play fighting games are those people who have figured out that one thing about their character that is so good and you can't stop it and everything they do is to make it happen. And yeah, those people, you know, if I could
hang on, that's how I feel when I play you in Strive, but
you know what? I get it. But, you know, at least I'm honest. It's just, you know, I'm just kicking you. I'm not like summoning 30 demons to, you know, come to your house and beat you up. It's just kicking. Yeah, it's somewhere in the middle, like with Strive. Soul, bad guy, when they first came out, he was just unfair, just oppressive.
Oh I used to love oh my god, dude.
And it's like, come on, one combo and I'm dead. That's not fair. 2, I'll accept that.
Dude, that's like Marissa in Street Fighter 6 right now, dude.
Yeah,
I haven't played.
If you try to fight against her and you whiff and you get punished, bro, that's 80% of your health done. I mean, that's a.
I do like, and also I think when you sit down to play a TCG, you're in it potentially for a long haul, unless you're playing red, in which you're trying to finish it in 6 turns.
Yeah, 6 turns
but
or
with
you
a
quit.
fighting game, I think there's definitely a market for those longer winded, you know, push and pull, footsie neutral games. But sometimes it's just good to get a nice hit in, and then just absolutely destroy their entire afternoon. That's a great time.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think fighting games are meant to be oppressive. It's a form of masochism that I think we've just all accepted as like, cool. I get beat up sometimes, then I get stronger to then learn how to beat you up, and then nobody can beat me up ever again. You kind of have to work through the pain.
You got to get beat up.
Good.
You got to get beat up.
Yeah, I think if you can mechanically hold a combo, then that's a skill on its own. You deserve to win the game because a lot of players can't.
No.
That's
not enough.
Let's put it to bed. No.
That's not enough. No. And that's why I don't like Mortal Kombat players.
We need a grudge match, dude.
Too much.
I'm not talking about unbreakable combos where you can hold one combo, win the whole game because the person can't break out of it. I'm saying like some people say, oh, that combo took out 50% of my health. What am I meant to do?
Oh yeah.
If someone can hold that 50% combo,
oh yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. I thought you meant if you know a combo you should win. No.
No. This is not like this is not Sonic Fox trolling with like Aaron Black and just kiting you the entire time and then giving you a mercy and then doing it again just to toy with you. I feel like at that point, I feel like there are certain fighting games that you know that there's a level of like timing, like, this match is supposed to end in less than a minute. And if it goes any longer than a minute, then the fighting match becomes torturous
Yeah.
And folks are just like, I am probably going to be prone to making a mistake because I don't want to stay fighting this match. I want to get to the next thing. And Sonic Fox loves to toy with people, especially who talk shit about him. Well, he will intentionally make the game longer and give you a win just to then take it from you because he's a bad motherfucker in this game. Like
in every game.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a multi-talented person that could pretty much pick up almost any fighting game and then literally destroy you after a day or two of playing it. Like, I think the level of, I think I might be misgendering him. I think it's a day. They have been so fucking, like, they're a savant in game sense with fighting games. There's just, mechanically, I don't know what goes in there, but it's just like I compute fight equations, and then in the next 5 seconds after looking at a game, I know Kung Fu. Like they are literally Neo as it relates to FGC. It's kind of crazy. It's crazy.
I think we've got
okay.
Yeah, we got to pull it back to Brand. Fitch is insisting.
Yeah, I was going to say our producer Fitch is coming in.
We're getting bullied in chat.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Exactly.
By the way, everyone, make sure to smash that like button. And make sure to
like and subscribe.
Imprison the subscribe.
Yeah, Sonic Fox is incredibly goated. Pronoun is goated for sure. And then okay, so all right, all my Shroud maxis and mains. Brand is king. Okay. If you didn't put respect on Brand before, you have to do it now.
God damn it.
You have to do it now.
God damn it.
What if I don't?
Because his kit, I mean, and Fitch, I could talk about this. Right? Because look, like before, when Brand is in combat, whether your opponent attacks Brand directly or you initiate combat with Brand, it has to be a card. It cannot be the face. A corrupted vision will be generated in your singularity. But what's neat now is that there is a singularity that starts with you in the beginning of the match.
Oh shit.
Really?
And it has increased stats. And
Fuck.
so and it gets buffed the more cards are in the singularity.
Oh
shit.
It's almost kind of like a Bora, but not really, because it doesn't have any other like types of Bora related kit. But what's really neat about it is that you now have an extra bit of protection if you're not able to really like leverage Brand as much within your given turns as you're pushing the parallel out. You have this corrupted vision as kind of like your backup enforcer with some beefiness, which is fucking amazing.
Yeah,
I think
like
also
was missing more protection. Like
yes,
wasn't enough.
Okay,
yes.
I got it pulled out
but
now.
Also, so pull it up. But also, like,
He looks
what's
like Bible
better
Man.
about the what's better about the Shroud deck? Yeah, so you start with a 4/4 corrupted vision. And when friendly units destroy an enemy unit in combat, your units in the singularity are buffed. Extra +1/0. So one to attack. It's so all your cards get stronger.
God damn it. God damn it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
Shroud didn't need to get better.
No,
it did because what the problem was the problem was like you had great crowd control.
Yeah.
But you didn't have menacing board presence.
Yeah.
It was very difficult, especially if you didn't have a first turn. This enables you to still like have menacing board presence if you are T2 instead of T1 when you start a match.
Mm-hmm.
Almost I did not run real statistics on this, so do not take the number I'm about to throw out as literal. But I know for me personally, most of the matches I won is because I had T1. Almost every single match that I was turn 2, I lost. Even if it took like 20 turns to get there, I was always playing catch up. but Brand's new setup and the way that like all of the cards in the singularity get stronger gives me a better fighting chance and another opportunity, especially depending on like what cards like I've sent using my crewman. What cards have been banished to the singularity, whether I've done it myself, if I'm using like dark dealings or something to that effect, or whatever the case is, right? Like I now have like more opportunities to actually get more utility from a like attacking perspective from any and every unit that I own in my deck, which like was very hard to do before. So it's like Brand like basically makes you better. Brand is best in that context, right? And so, and what was great too is I could finish games in less than 12 turns. Like
Pretty good for Shroud.
fuck, that's huge.
Yeah.
Most Shroud, like you're winning T15, 16.
You're waiting till they
But like,
quit.
right.
Yeah.
So like,
You're stopping them from playing until they get bored.
no, 100. So, but like, it's like what's good is like your banish has so much more like capability because now it's like it's not feeling like you're using banish as just a defense mechanism. Banish is now more of a like offensive mechanic in the way like you use Brand's Brand's capabilities. So like I think he has a Paragon, his slight rework and making the corrupted visions much more beefier is probably one of the best fucking things I think Parallel has done so far as balancing. But what I think it does is like it's creating more opportunities for very unique setups for Shroud mains, where it's, again, like you're not just playing like, against the ropes and hopefully getting turn one so you can snowball. It is, okay, I can actually throw punches and they have some weight behind. So it's a really, really good addition. I had a ball playing it. Shit, you can ask Fitch. He was enjoying the shit out of it too. He was like, damn, I might have to play Shroud more because of how we reworked it. His words, not mine.
You gonna build an aggro Shroud deck? Turn
I already did.
Turn 3.
He's like done.
Let's go.
I'm confident. I'm very excited to try it. I'm shooting for like early games. Like I want to win like by turn 9-10.
Yeah.
I think it's possible. The weird thing is like obviously like the heaviest hitting Shroud cards, because they have adjusted the energy cost for some cards. Certain cards that were no cost, certain cards that were low cost a little bit more, and then certain cards that were high cost a little bit less. So it's really, really good that like I think there's more variance. I think what I'll also say is what they did for Shroud 2 is that they made it to where you can have fun playing with more of the cards that add a little bit of trickery. They're a lot more approachable to try to throw into your kit. Most people won't do like they won't play the pocket dimension like relic.
Right.
Like most people won't play dark dealings and things of that nature, but now it's a lot more fun to try to use those because of how banish works and how like you get corrupted visions when Brand is and damages a unit, and the fact that those corrupted visions are strong. So like it's very good to try to subvert expectation of what people think a Shroud deck can actually be.
Yeah.
So
for the alpha, like there was I was actually shocked at how many cards were usable for being an alpha build. It was really impressive. Usually that shit takes like years of balance patches to get like a 70% playable cards, and there was a lot of stuff. What I'm looking forward to most in the beta and it's just the glitches. Like you expect glitches and bugs to be in there in alpha, and there were a few of them, but there were a lot of decks that I had built where I'm just like, okay, I can't play this. It seems promising, but I like can't play certain things the way I know that they should work just because there was like a bug. And so, all the balance changes are going to be great. The UI it's supposed to be great as well. And then,
It's better.
yeah, is it better?
You're getting visual and audio cues, audible cues on like,
that's
for example, like there's a slight update to like notifying you of your that like is very, very cool.
Yeah.
The layout of like the board in and of itself, to where it kind of helps reinforce your placement of your cards, where your units are, how to navigate through them, where your relics go. Very good update there. It's becoming a much more like well-oiled game space. It's almost as if you were to print it out and you were playing against a person right in front of you, like it's giving me like the Yu-Gi-Oh vibe of placement, of a board placement, where it's like, these are your attack joints, this is your trap, your magic, cards, this is where your deck goes, your graveyard. It's like, it's very, I think not to pun it, but the parallel to having this digital version and like the physical version it feels like it's a one-to-one. It's like if they came out with a full like physical cards plus a board placement thing, it would translate incredibly well.
Nice.
Can't wait, man.
Yeah.
Tell what they need to bring out. They need to bring out, Yu-Gi-Oh! How they had the like decks, the boards being banned, and they bring one of those touch screen that you can play parallel on.
Dude,
that'd be crazy.
My brother,
that would be insane.
My brother used to have that plastic Yu-Gi-Oh thing where you like
Did
put
he?
cards.
Yeah,
and I thought I had it in my garage, but I can't find it. I'm gonna go have to look for it again, because that would be epic. That would be such a good streaming item.
Yeah.
And do the fucking like card hand movements. I've got the soundboard already. I've been playing playing it while the stream's been going. I wish you guys could hear it. I got the duel. I got this card is useless. I got the heart of the card.
Get it on the replay.
Trap card.
Activated my
we definitely need like a if I would love a funny Easter egg, like a Kaiba Easter egg. Like if you beat, like if you beat like opponent under a certain like turn count per parallel, then like
that'd be sick.
Their Paragon goes like, Kaiba just erases itself as your points go to 0. Would be
request
really
for product pitch.
Yeah. So put the Kaiba meme in there, please. I would love that. That would be hilarious.
I want to make sure that we get a chance to talk about Stadium in a little more detail before we get out of here, because I'm looking at the time right now.
Oh yeah, we've just been vibing.
Hell yeah,
just vibing, which is what it's all about. But yeah, how is Project Stadium going? And then for those that maybe don't know about it, if you guys can give us just like a quick rundown of how to utilize it.
Do you want me to go?
Yeah, bro. You talk. I'll support.
Yeah, sweet. So I'll talk about like how it's been going so far. So I've been running what's called the Stadium Spartan series, which is a Halo Infinite circuit for Europe, and that's been doing pretty well. We've had like roughly 150 competitors from throughout Europe playing in it. We've had a lot of broadcasts, and we've been averaging about 60 viewers across probably like 30 broadcasts. We, on the actual Stadium platform itself, I think we're above 400 users now. I think we're just above 400 users. So that's been like steadily increasing. We're in the process of planning some other events for different games. So we're looking at some Apex Legends stuff. We're looking at some Counter-Strike stuff. We're also looking at some parallel stuff, but we'll see what happens there. So yeah, things have been steadily growing and doing well. We're constantly bringing out new features as well. So like, I guess the most recent feature that we dropped was the payout system. So now we actually have like a smart contract that we deploy like USDC or ETH or whatever it is. And then in our backend, we can go and search users and send them a prize claim. and on their account they go and claim the payout, and then they can send it out to their wallets.
Does it take 9
so
to
we
12
can do
months?
that. No, it doesn't.
Okay, there you go. Upgrade.
So like, when an event finishes, I go and I can send out prize money, and it will take me, if I have to do, let's say 10 payouts, it'll take me maybe like 3 to 4 minutes, and then it takes as long as it takes them to claim it, which is 1 click, and then sign a transaction to their wallet. So it's super quick and easy, whereas like usually it'd take like 6 to 9 months. With other like esports competitions, you have to fill out like a prize claim form and then send them that, and then they take 9 months to send it, and then you finally get it. So yeah, that's kind of like, we're working on new stuff again. So like at the moment we're finishing off a bit of an update to our like card builder, which will allow you, it's a bit of a UI update firstly, but then allows you to actually go and edit your card after you've made it. So you can now like modify the features on your card and stuff. So yeah, progress has been really good, really positive. Amir, do you want to talk about how people can utilize it and get involved?
For sure, yeah. So very, very quick and dirty. Project Stadium is an on-chain platform and protocol for esports competitions to happen on chain, right? Like very, very simple definition. We want to make the future of esports permissionless. And to do so, we need a lot of players, a lot of teams, and a lot of really fucking dope ass events. And so a lot of the stuff that Troy has been talking about is in many ways just kind of like a lot of the necessary core features that have to be built to facilitate that. And so the way you folks can get involved is if you, for example, and I would say for Parallel most specifically, because we've had a ton of conversations with Fitch, I've had conversations with Mr. Gon, I've had conversations with Kalos and a lot of the other team members. And then of course, like when Project Stadium came about, we have a partnership with Paragon's DAO, one of the largest like Parallel asset holders around, so that we can facilitate loaning through the priming and a few of their other tooling, so that people who want to compete and use NFT assets to do so now have a funnel in order for that to happen, right? So the goal and the point of arrival was to always
you're right now, by the
way. Say again?
No, nothing. You're just on stream now for a second.
Oh, nice. Okay, word. Nice. Troy is Sirsu now. That's amazing. You heard it here first. I am no longer. I have removed my name from my existence. But ATM is still a money machine, so we love that about you. But yeah. So the point of arrival was to always create and accept sort of like a parallel global series, and that's something that we're still in process of really kind of hammering down and nailing. I think a lot of that has to do with the reception and the approach of what happens as the closed beta comes out at the end of the month. So for those who are really, really interested in like building or wanting high competitive play within the parallel ecosystem, please let them know that you want to see Stadium do it. But also like show the fuck out for this closed beta and like let's crush it. Let's break more records, break more rules, break more boundaries, and like just fucking having a shit ton of matches, like theory crafting, like just go nuts, right? But I would say if you are interested in making this, go to projectstadium.com, mint a player card, get your what happens is like your username and your player card is count bound until you retire, right? So like one of the mechanics that we have is similar to like we wanted to build it like trading cards, where your trading card accrues value over time as you compete. And this doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a sweat lord and like compete at the most highest level. You could be a casual player, but like a content creator and doing crazy, amazing shit for the space. And your trading card your player card's still worth a fuck ton of money. But the idea was like, how do we create something of record, but also something that you could be proud of at the end of your like competitive journey, in a sense, where you can retire this player card minted as like an open edition, a singular 1 of 1, however you want to freak it, with all of the NFT assets you've accrued, because we're going to be using the new like 6551 standard. And that becomes something that people who are really fans of you or your team can now own, and say like, I was a part of like this history that this person made. But anyway, mint a player card, form a team, add all your folks to your roster. We're going to be activating some real like light parallel related events once the closed beta is out, and then stay tuned for a larger plans on some bigger things as parallel and us like kind of work through what that looks like. But we want to present something incredibly special. There's obviously Lambda that's happening, but yeah, I would say that would be the biggest thing. We prove it with parallel. It opens the floodgates for pretty much any other Web3 game that comes after. And we've got like a lot of folks at like Wildcard, Bornless, Metalcore, and a few others. So like there are titles that are coming out that definitely want to do and facilitate more of an esport type of opportunity and competitive opportunity. It's just that like those games aren't ready for prime time yet. That parallel is, and so we've got to really build the case and the demand for it. So it's we've got the platform, but we need you guys as players and as a community to show the fuck out. We do that, then sky's the limit.
Let's fucking go. Dope. Thank you for the breakdown, guys.
Yeah,
of course. Thank you for the invite, bro. I always like being on here.
Yeah, man. It's always a vibe, man.
I can't believe it's been a year. Well, like if we go another year without having you guys on, I think someone needs to hire an assassin for me and Rye.
No, we would have. Yeah. We need to get taken out.
We should actually hire an assassin ourselves and say like, if we don't do this, then we're gonna be playing. We're gonna be gaming, guys.
Well, we'll be gaming.
I say that knowing we'll be probably back on gaming on Monday, but
100%. Not just that, but like I mean, we've got like our Apex team is playing in the Global Championship September 6th through 10th. We'll be doing a watch party, so obviously, you guys come through and jam with. Our PUBG mobile team in Africa. Their fall season starts, I think, maybe a week later in September, for about 4 weeks, ending in October. October is going to be a regional final, and then assuming we qualify and do well there, we get invited to the World Championship that happens in Turkey at the end of that month. So yeah, you'll be hearing a lot from us like over the next several months and beyond, just because like we're out for blood, and I'm very, very excited that we have built kind of an environment where winning is not only possible, but it's been facilitated by a community and not just.
Super special, guys. Yeah, good luck in Worlds and keep on shining. We'll be here. We'll be watching.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. I'm gonna do a little wrap up here, and then we'll head on out. Appreciate you guys all watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Do everything. Hit the notification, even though no one ever does. Ryan and I are going live on Monday. Hopefully the parallel beta is releasing. We're going to be doing a 24-hour stream. These guys might be back on. We might throw a couple matches. We might try and go against Sirsu's brand. All sorts of good stuff. After that, we've got a tournament coming up. Ryan and I are going to be hosting a tournament, doing the announcer game. I don't know when that's going to be exactly, but we'll keep you updated on the day and time for that. Overall, it's going to be good stuff. We're starting to ramp up with more parallel content on our YouTube. So if you're not there, that's where you can find us. Follow Blackhand on Twitter. Follow them on OnlyFans, and we will catch you guys next time. Big round of applause. Appreciate you guys. Later.
That was the hand, B. Let's get it.
There you go.
Later, man.